Hello, parents and students. Welcome to the distance learning edition of Back to School Night. I am Ethan Shimer, and I will be your child's eighth grade math teacher. And so I'm going to give you guys an overview of what we're going to be learning this year, how we're going to structure Zoom time, and also ways you can support your student. So we're going to go right in. We're going to be diving really deep into algebra this year, solving a lot of equations and dealing with a lot of variables. So as you look at your students' work, you should see a lot of X's and Y's and variables everywhere. So it can get pretty abstract, and we will be doing that fall and winter. And then in the spring, we will be doing geometry. So we're going to kind of transition in the spring. And then how are we going to do all that, especially in this distance learning environment, is it's broken up into three parts. So the first is synchronous, and that's Zoom. So that's when they're with me. So they're going to receive their instruction during synchronous time. So when they're with me, I will be going through the standards that I just briefly went through. And I'm going to talk more about how I'm going to deliver the lessons to them through Zoom, but that's when they're with me. And then asynchronous time is the other half of the school day when they're not with me, and they will do a online math program called Dreambox. All right. So this program adapts to each student. So your student will be doing their own individual program through Dreambox, and every day they will need to complete one lesson. And that lesson should take around 20 minutes. So by the end of the week, they should have 5 lessons, and I will be putting those completed lessons into their grade. So it's important that they keep up with that. And what's cool about this is if your student is struggling with previously learned concepts from previous grades, this program will address that and help fill in any holes that they have. And then just like regular school, there will be homework, and that's done after 3. So basically after the school day, just like regular school. And all those assignments will be on Google Classroom. So any assignment that I give them, I will always explain it during synchronous time, and usually I'll give them a little bit of time to start it in case they have any questions, and then they will complete that after 3 p.m. Okay, so how am I going to teach math through Zoom? Well, it's a lot like what they're going to be doing when they come to school, and it starts with a warm up. So as they log in, their first thing they're going to do is they're going to complete a set of problems that I have already displayed for them. So right when they log in, and this gives me time to get all the other students in, gives me time to take roll, and while I'm doing that, they're solving problems that they previously learned, and helps reinforce and strengthens their understanding of what we learned previously. And then the lesson delivery. So there's 4 different ways that I plan to do that. And the first is just note taking. So if you see on the screen, I have a single subject spiral notebook, and I really want the students to do all of their note taking in this single subject spiral notebook, and all of their warm ups in that single subject spiral notebook. So it keeps it really organized for them. They can just turn the page and start fresh whenever a new lesson is delivered, and then they have it all there for them to review when they need it. And then the next thing is try to do a lot of problem solving. So I try to give them fun, engaging problems for them to solve that they can do, and then they type in the chat and ask me if they got it correct, and I try to give them hints. So gives them more ownership of their math learning. And the next way is we do some games with especially with Kahoot, which is a online program where they answer questions, and it's kind of a quiz style where kind of brings some excitement to their learning. And then the next thing is we do some guided reading from their textbook. So you see their textbook is pictured here, and it's a consumable, so they can write in it. And And what we do is I put that underneath my document camera and we just go through problems together and they have it recorded in that consumable textbook. So after one of these lessons or one of these ways in which we're teaching the lesson, um, at the end of the lesson, I give them an exit ticket. So this is a way for me to see how well they learned the day's concepts. So I can look at the results and I take that information and I help and it helps me plan the next day's lesson. So if the class is really understanding what we're doing, we move forward. If they're not, a lot of times we'll just take a step back and go ahead and review the previous day's lesson. So those are all done on Google Forms. So that's the mechanism which I'll be collecting that information, and now those Google Forms will be counting towards their grade. Okay, so these are the steps you're to take in order to support your child in math. So the first one is check their Aries gradebook, see what assignments they have assigned, see what assignments they've completed, and what scores they're getting. And then if there's an assignment they have a question about, look at Google Classroom, and then you can kind of see what the assignment was and what score they got and why they got it. And then after that, check their spiral notebook. So see how well they took notes that day. Did they complete the warm up? Did they complete the problems that we went over in class? And then lastly, provide some time and space for your student to do asynchronous work on Dreambox. So they should be doing that about 20 minutes a day, like I said, and it's going to really reinforce previously learned skills. And so it's super important that they have time and space to do that each day. All right, so that is your child's math class. And if you have any general questions about the presentation, you can fill out the survey link in the main Back to School Night page. Or if you have more specific questions, you can just email me at eshimer@nvsd.org. I appreciate you tuning into this and feel free to reach out to me if you need anything.